In this video, I'm going to cover everything it takes to turn your personal brand into a money printer. And these are going to be the exact strategies that my clients are implementing to make over 6 figures every single month. Like for example, my client John Mark, who made $400,000 just last month, and he only has like 50,000 followers. And I'm going to show you everything you need to know so you don't have to be overwhelmed listening to like 100 people saying 100 different things, because these things that I'm about to share you are built on like long-lasting principles that have been here from like the beginning of time. And with these principles, you're not going to have to fucking have 1 million followers or go viral and depend on trends. And if you're interested in implementing this system right away into your business, completely done for you, no headache, no testing, no fucking around, check out the first link in the description and check out the people that I work with, what kind of results I got in them, and what I can do for you as well. Now, let's get into the video. Now, I want to bring into picture a very core principles that everything is going to revolve around, which is going to be nurturing the attention that we get and building relationships. We're going to optimize every step of our funnel to build relationships and nurture people. And why we're going to do this is because Google did a study that shows that if somebody spends 7 hours watching your content and across multiple touch points, they engage with your content, they're going to buy anything from you at any price. And because this is a study and it was done by a multi-billion-dollar company that has been around for decades and has decades worth of data, we can confidently say that this is not just any principle, this is a deep-rooted human principle that basically, like, this is how humans run naturally. This is how humans are designed to work, to create relationships. And if you create a relationship with someone for over 7 hours, boom, they convert. Now, of course, those 7 hours can't just be random hours bullshit content, right? But it needs to be good quality content that obviously we will talk about how to optimize that content later on, but that is a principle. And obviously this principle fluctuates because there have been times where I saw somebody for the first time ever in my life. I watched one ad and I went and bought their $50 product, right? But there were also times where I dragged on to buy from somebody for like 6 months, you know? So it totally depends. And it also depends on the viewer's situation. Maybe they want to buy, they want to invest, but they don't have the funds right now, or they are so bought into you that they will make the money to invest into you. It really depends, but that is the core principle and what the core basic that we will base everything around. Okay, so I just wanted you to understand that. Then we're gonna go into everything. So the first thing we need to begin with is Instagram. How we're gonna do or execute this relationship-based business tactic is we're going to use Instagram and YouTube simultaneously to funnel people between those two platforms, to nurture them, to create the relationships, and eventually they're going to buy. On Instagram, you want to use it as a landing page. You know, a lot of people use Instagram wrong. They think that they use Instagram as a sales page, not as a landing page, but as like a sales page where they just try to sell people immediately. They think that once they post one piece of content, is gonna, they're immediately gonna book in a call and piff them, etc. Like, it's not gonna work like that at all. Maybe 2 years ago you could, but now you cannot, because people have become majorly media aware and they will not buy unless they fucking trust you. So you need to build trust. And how do you optimize for trust? Well, first off, you need attention, because if you can't get attention, you can't fucking nurture it, right? So you need to get organic attention by posting organic content. And keep in mind, Instagram is not for selling, right? It's only for gathering attention. And attention isn't just like going viral, right? Attention is like when you have full focus attention from somebody. You know, when you're working, you're like, you're in deep work, you're in deep mode, you're like fucking focused, you're giving like 101% of your energy and focus and attention to the task ahead of you, that is attention, right? If your focus is you have a screen here and here and here and you're on your phone, and like that's not attention, that's not focus, that's a mess, right? So we want to create laser attention on our brand by creating high quality content that is valuable, actually teaching people, sharing our story, or maybe it is like a viral format video. There's nothing wrong with creating a viral style of video that you like, that is within the congruency of your messaging and your offer and stuff like that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. I don't want you to think that there's something wrong if you go viral. Absolutely not. That's fucking amazing, right? Some ads I've seen, one of my clients, John Mark, that I mentioned in the beginning, he pumped ads until they got up to 4 million views. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But it has to be in congruency with your offer and your messaging, and it has to attract the people that you want, right? You don't want to do it because it's a trend. That's when you go off tracks. No. I've seen cases where a video gets 1 million views, but the account impressions, the actual people that check out the account, is like 200,000. That's a very bad video. That means that video, yes, it went viral, people saw it on their For You page, but it didn't resonate, it didn't stick, and it didn't really intrigue them on who you are and what you do. So how you make people intrigued about who you are and what you do is you need to target them specifically. And a lot of people go wrong when they're targeting their audience is they mention them. You know, they say like, hey, if you're a fitness coach, you're trying to scale your business and all that stuff. They think that is mentioning somebody. It's not. It's not targeting, sorry. It's just mentioning somebody's state and profession and niche, right? It's not targeting. Targeting is when you target somebody's specific situation that they've been in, and then you go and create value around that, what you learned from that story. Because then they're going to be like, how the fuck did this random guy on Reels, he has been in the exact same situation that I've been in, and he has extracted a lesson. Or you target somebody's specific pain point that they've been in, they found, or a situation that they have found themselves in, that they're like, how the fuck does this guy know that I've been in this situation? And how does he know it so well, right? How does he know it so well? And that's when they're going to be intrigued, and there's no other chance than to check out your profile, because they literally see you as somebody who's like read their past or future or something. And now they check out your profile. Now that we finally have them on our profile, now we need to talk about optimization of your Instagram to actually look like a landing page that people stay on, that people follow you, and they actually start getting nurtured through the mechanisms that we will talk about later. How do you set up a Instagram account that looks like a landing page and actually makes people stay? First of all, you need to have, an image, a profile picture that speaks what you do, right? If you're a fitness coach, it might be like you just showing off your physique. There's also some people that they have like an offer. Their offer is like how like making as much money in as little time as possible, right? So that means they have to share a lifestyle that is them making as much money as possible without working as much, right? So they would have a profile picture where they have like a phone and they're like talking, but you can clearly see that they're in a city, sorry. And so that kind of gives you a messaging that he's like busy, like he's taking calls and shit, but he's not like busy, like grinding and like wasting his time and like, always on the grind, He's like somewhere or is like working remotely, etc. So that you need to kind of speak to your audience with your profile picture. And of course, don't overthink it. Don't fucking your profile picture really doesn't matter, but it's just something that to think about. Give it a little bit of thought and stuff like that. Then comes to your posts. People see the first 3 pinned posts, so make sure those are looking good. There probably should be carousels that have pictures that correlate. Again, they need to speak to your audience, etc. And they need to have some kind of story in the captions. You can either tell your story or something like that, some sort of value. And then you need to have an optimized bio. And your bio has to have 3 lines. First line is like who you help, so that people that now have found themselves targeted, they can actually see your bio and be like, I help something with something. And they're like, wow, so this guy knows my exact situation and he's helping people like me overcome something that I want or get something that I want. Now it speaks to them even more. And now you the second line is like DM me word or keyword for one-on-one coaching. Now they know that you have coaching. And the third line is a title to a free guide that you have that is solving their problem, the person's problem. that you just targeted. And the link is going to be YouTube. Like, I see so many people putting like fucking link trees and like Calendly links in their bio, and this is exactly what I was talking about. They treat Instagram as a sales page where they think they're gonna post one piece of content and somebody's gonna buy. They're not. And even Linktree is bad because you have so many like decisions to make, and they're just not gonna make any decisions, right? So just put your best guide on YouTube. Like, make one super good guide on how you overcame something. If you're a coach, on how you overcame a specific situation. Again, it needs to be a specific situation of the person that you just targeted and how you're fixing it, and then you link it, right? And then this is where exactly the funnel starts. They might watch some of your highlights, which is why it's important to have highlights about your story, your client results, your transformation, your valuable points, tips and tricks, whatever. And they might start watching that. And you always need to have stories, 10 to 20 stories every single day. It's mandatory. Why? Because people are always going to be coming on your profile. They need something to watch. Otherwise, they're just going to go away. If there's nothing to watch, they're not going to follow you. They're not going to be intrigued. But if there's 10 to 20 stories and you have targeted them and they see that you're helping them, and you have a coaching program, you have a free guide, and you have all these client testimonials, all that stuff, they're intrigued to watch. So you make them watch. They're going to watch. Maybe they start watching 10 to 20 of your stories, right? And now they follow you. And now they're, boom, put into this endless cycle ecosystem of conversion that we're going to talk about in this video, which is stories, highlights, and YouTube videos. That is how it starts. So we get Instagram attention, the way I just told you. We optimize our Instagram so that it makes people stay, just like I told you. And now we convert people and we nurture them with highlights, stories, and YouTube videos. So now going into the stories and why they're the most important part of your funnel. Stories are going to be your money-making machine on Instagram. Why? First off, like I said, if you're posting, which you should be posting, 10 to 20 stories every single day, then you're going to have 10 to 20, let's say they're around minutes each, 10 to 20. So that's 10 to 20 minutes of content that people are going to consume every single day. That's a lot. Give them like a month's worth of time. That's like how much? Let me calculate. 20 minutes of content each day for 30 minutes of content is 600 minutes of content per month. And 600 minutes of content is equals to 10 hours of content. So across a month, if you're posting 10, maximum 20 stories every single day, people are going to be watching you for 10 hours minimum, just off of your stories. Just off of your stories, not taking account the YouTube videos that they're going to watch. And not just that, your stories are literally your daily live streams. Why do you think these streamers like fucking Speed have cult-like audiences? It's because they spend literally 6 hours a day, bro, every single day. You think posting 20 minutes of stories is hard? These guys are streaming and entertaining their audience for fucking 6 hours every single day. And it is because they're spending that much time together that these audiences love them, bro. They would kill for fucking these guys. It's actually crazy, right? And so your stories need to be daily live streams of you going through your life, documenting your thoughts, your morning routine, if you have a morning routine, your work blocks, working with clients. What have you implemented for this client that's going to give them a significant result? Why did you implement it for them? What have they been doing previously, etc.? All of these things accumulate over time. And the rule of thumb, if you want to increase the amount of stories that you're posting, you need to be posting at least like 3 stories per every single thing that you're doing. If you're doing your morning routine, boom, 3 stories. If you're doing your client work, boom, 3 stories. If you're working out, boom, 3 stories. If all of these things, like whatever it is, 3 stories about why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and how it's impacting your life. Stupid simple. Now, of course, as time goes on, you don't want to always be posting a billion stories every single day. You want to learn how to concise your information into less and less and less stories while making it more valuable. But it's a skill that you have to learn. But for now, try to post as many stories as possible. And another very, very important thing is that just like how you targeted people in the reels, you can also do that with the stories. You can literally take any specific situation with your day that happened to you and make a lesson out of it and target people. For example, the other day I was trying to film a YouTube video just like this one, and I recorded for 12 minutes or 10 minutes, I'm not sure, and I didn't like how it turned out, and I just deleted everything, deleted the file, the audio file, everything. And like most people would get upset, like, oh shit, I just wasted like 10 minutes, I'm so upset, let me not record this content today, let me move it to tomorrow. But I still continue to try to make content. And that is a story, valuable story, and it's also relatable because a lot of people find themselves in that situation. And so what did I do? I immediately posted on my story saying, hey, this is what just happened, bro. Super relatable, like it happens to everybody. And I made a lesson how it's, important to go through the flow, and it's actually recommended to film multiple times, etc., etc., etc. And I explained why it is important, etc. Not just like, nobody cares about your fucking photos. If you just post, oh, my camera just died, ha ha ha, nobody cares about that. They want to know what happened. What's the context? Were you filming videos? Were you fucking, I don't know, what were you doing? Did it just fucking break all of a sudden? What happened? People care about the stories. People want to connect with you. Think about it as a friendship, dude. How did you make a friend? You just fucking chat shit. You didn't have a strategy. You didn't fucking do anything. You just chat shit, right? You guys connect. You guys share deeper lessons, deeper topics. That's how you guys connected. That's how you connect with your audience as well. Simple as that. Don't overcomplicate it. So many people just overcomplicate it. They think that, oh, it's a stranger and it's different on Instagram. I need to be different. I need to, do all these kind of strategies. No, it's literally just befriending someone. Think of it as you guys just met on the street and you're trying to be friends with them. Now that we have covered how stories work and how your Instagram needs to be set up, we need to talk about probably the most important part in this entire conversion mechanism, which is YouTube. Now, YouTube is going to be the entire driver of your sales. No matter how little views you get, you can still make a shit ton of money with YouTube if you do it correctly. And on YouTube, we're always going to be optimizing for value, education, and connection. So for example, this video right here, it is educational. It is valuable to you. I'm giving you insights. I'm giving you information that you can implement into your own business. But I also have and will have even more videos in the future where it's all based on connection. It's all based on, just me talking about my life, what I'm currently going through, and, everything about my life, basically. And this video in itself has its own authentic piece, which is I didn't script the body of this video. Yes, I have cut some parts out that I didn't like how I said it, and I had to re-say it, right? I had to reshoot it. So that in fact, this video was actually shot multiple times. However, I still kept my main speech, my value part, authentic. So it's not scripted. It's actually coming all from my mind. And so that is a part of authenticity that nobody can replace, nobody can copy, because they don't have my mind and they don't have my personality, my way of speaking, etc. So that is what YouTube is all about. It's literally like a friends platform where you just sit in front of the camera and try to build friendships and relationships. And how you do that is with raw talks and vlogs. Raw talks are actually fucking underrated. It is when you sit in front of a camera and you talk about everything or anything life related. And this is so powerful because people think that, it attracts B2C clients and not B2B clients, so I can't really do it. But it actually attracts both audiences. In fact, I talked about this in my video where I started my, episode of Personal Brand Talk, episode number 1. You can go and watch it on my channel. And I was like, I was so stuck. I didn't want to post these raw talks because I thought it was going to be, attracting a B2C audience, but I wanted to sell a B2B offer, and that's why I was stuck. I was limited. I didn't want to post that kind of video. But when I got an insight that one of my mentors' clients He only sells business consulting to B2B people. He only sells B2B, and he made a Raw Talk, a B2C kind of video, and it literally attracted like 3 B2B clients. And from that moment, I got a sure insight that, boom, I can post fucking Raw Talks. And you should be posting Raw Talks as well, because they build relationships. That's how you get people to like you. And you have to understand that these business owners or whoever you're trying to target, even if it's just normal people, everyday people, they resonate with you. They just want to see you, who you are as a person. And they're all people. We're all people. Yes, there's like, we're different in many ways, but like we all share the same thing, is that is with it. We need connection, and we're striving for that connection. And that is something that is actually coming up in the last few years of this entrepreneurship scene, is like people are looking for connection. It's not enough to just script the video and like put value on it. No. People, like, they want connection, and it is visible, and it is coming out. And that is going to be one of the most selling points, is who can connect to the audience the most and who people like the most. Because now we live in an age of information. You also have to understand your videos have to be valuable in stories, have to be rich in stories. And every single value point, it has to come from data. It has to come from an insight. It has to come from a result or a story. And that's how it holds authority and value. Because nowadays, raw information as just information and facts, you can Google that. You can put it into ChatGPT. ChatGPT's gotten so advanced, it can literally give you better inputs than a human. So information on its own is not valuable anymore. You need to package it in stories, your own personal stories. You need to package it in insights from your clients' success stories and all these things in order for it to work. And that is the main thing. And that is the main trend. And it's actually not even a trend. It's not a trend that's going to be like there for a few months. It's a long lasting trend that's going to make you money 50 years from now. Just keep building the relationships. And that is how you're going to make money with YouTube. You're going to make long ass videos that are educational, they're raw, authentic, and they're speaking about your story. And these Raw Talks, like, you don't want to post them every single day, because it usually, and I want to touch on a topic that actually confuses a lot of people, is that how often should you repeat yourself? So with Raw Talks, you don't want to make them every day. I have a client who does them every day, and he kind of forces himself to do that. He who used to do it for like a 200 days straight, film a Raw Talk every day, even he nowadays doesn't do it anymore, because you just come to repeat yourself and it's not sustainable. And these videos, they need to be from the heart. Right? They need to be from the heart, and they need to come from genuinely your soul. Like, you cannot fake it. You cannot script it. That is the problem with these videos. So Raw Talk, don't film it unless you feel like it. Right? Don't film it unless you feel like it. Okay? Even if you have to wait a couple of months, don't post a Raw Talk unless you feel like it. Okay? As for the value videos, you don't want to be posting them every day either, because quickly you run out of things to talk about, right? You run out of things to talk about, and then your personal brand becomes boring, and you just start repeating yourself. On YouTube, repeating yourself is bad, because it's a long form platform. You can't talk about one thing for 30 minutes and then come back the next day, talk about the same thing for 40 minutes. It doesn't work like that. Not even for 20 or 10 minutes. It becomes too repetitive, because YouTube is a much higher quality platform, and people pay attention more than they do on Instagram. However, on Instagram, your goal should actually be to repeat yourself, not like a robot, but your main values and principles, you need to repeat them all over again on every single post, on every single story. If you do something that makes you a lot of money in your business and you're a business coach, you need to share that every single day, because it's a principle that is making you a lot of money, that can make you or your clients or your strangers that follow you a lot of money. And on YouTube, remember, the first thing that you should do if you're just starting out a new YouTube channel, or even if you just have a YouTube channel now, the first thing you need to do after watching this video is create like a VSL, a YouTube VSL that explains exactly where you came from, explains what journey you went through, and explains the main result. It explains the end point that you've gotten to. Right? So you need to show the beginning of the journey, and the end of the journey, where you are at now. You need to make that VSL story video and put it in your bio as a guide, so that, again, when people come to your Instagram, they immediately watch it. And try to make that video as much as value packed as possible. Take months if you need to make it, but make it really good and really long, okay? Because, for example, that John Mark client, my client, he has a 3-hour YouTube video in his bio. Imagine if people watch it. It's 3 hours already. Now four left to go. And because he already spent 3 hours with his audience, then it's easy to get another 4, because they're just going to go to another YouTube video and watch it for another 4 hours or 20 minutes or whatever, right? So it all begins with the first impression. That's how you win on YouTube. And another very important thing is you need to look at engagement. So many people, they're looking at the vanity metrics. They're like looking at the stupid metrics such as views. But what you really need to be looking at is the engagement. Okay, you got 10,000 views, but how's the engagement? I got my clients that have 10,000 views, but like 200 comments, and they're all like leads interested in their lead magnet. That's engagement. That is heavy fucking engagement. 60 views, fucking, I don't know, 10 comments. That is fucking crazy. Or a sale on 60 views on YouTube. That is absolutely crazy. So you need to look at the engagement, and you need to look at specifically what people tell you, and then take it and implement it. Because at the end of the day, you're selling it to your audience. Now, of course, you don't want to change your offer and shit like that. You don't want to change your everything in business. But like the audience that you serve to, if they give you something that you can actually take and implement in your content to make it better, to make it more targeted towards them, do it. Listen to them, because those are the people that you're trying to serve every single day. Those are the people that are going to make you more money, build you your brand, etc. Those are the people that you want to help. And that is the entire funnel explained that you need to run in 2025 and like forever if you want to make money, because this is based on the core principles that have been here from the beginning of time. But now that I have given you all the information and laid it all out for you and you all have to implement it, I want to tell you something. Information is useless if it is not applied. And more specifically, it is useless if it's not applied to your specific situation. I can tell you, film raw talk videos, film stories about your morning routine. But the way you post stories, the way you make raw talks, the way you document your morning routine is not going to be the same way that somebody else does. So your information needs to be implemented very, very specifically. Otherwise, it will not work. So if you want me and my team to help you implement all of this information to your specific situation, your specific business model, your specific offer, target audience, all these things, check out the link, the first link in the description. Check out my website, who I work with, how I help these people, and how I can help you as well. And make sure to book a call with us to see how we can help you. Thank you for watching this video, and I'm going to see you in the next one.